Do you not know that you are God's temple, and God's Spirit dwells in you? There's no need for a physical building anymore. Sure, we still have physical buildings because we don't like to be rained on during church. If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is holy, and you are that temple. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17 may be the most misinterpreted and abused verse of the Bible. Going back to the original language of the New Testament, the word you is plural, not singular. That's key. English is a really complicated language. You can be both singular and plural depending on its context. You read this, you can read it as singular or plural. But the Greek word is plural. Okay? So let me read these two verses again in its modern way that it's often interpreted. And then let me read it how the Greek says it, and then we'll see how it feels different. Do you, Josh, know that you, Cody, are God's temple, and that God's Spirit dwells in you, DJ? If anyone destroys God's temple, which Dalen, by the way, is you, God will destroy them. For God's temple, Clarissa, is holy. And you, Tara, are that temple. Okay, that feels really good, right? Oh yeah, I'm the temple. This misunderstanding has led to a lot of bad theology that's hurt a lot of people. All of a sudden, you begin to feel like you're divine, and that you can call things that be not as though they were, and all of a sudden you begin to say that my words affect everything. That's called the law of attraction, and that's nothing short of New Age. And all of a sudden we begin to think that we have inherent divinity running through our DNA. Does some of this sound familiar to some of the teachings you've been reading in books and listening to preachers on YouTube? And all of a sudden we begin to think that we're something special. Now, let me read the verse as it's mentioned in the Greek, and you will see why this is the most abused verse in the Bible in our current generation. 1 Corinthians 3:16, do you guys, the global big letter C church, do you guys know that you guys collectively are God's temple? Not you individually, Carrie. Not you individually, Sasha. Not you individually, Justin. Not you individually, Josh. But you guys, the church, not even just you guys, Life Church. One small expression of the whole body, but the true global church made up of believers. You guys are the temple, and God's Spirit dwells in you guys. You see the difference? Now it's not so much about me and me feeling like I'm cool and I've got it all together and God's Spirit's in me. It's the church that He abides in. You guys, as the church, are that temple. Do you see where this changes it? And this, like, all you guys have to do, well, Josh, I don't know about that. That seems like I've been taught my whole life. Just look at the entirety of the Bible. You're one part of the body. Does that make sense? Okay? You're not the whole body, you're one part. You're a fingernail, you're the heart, you're the ventricle, you're the toenail, you're the ear lobe. You're one part of the body. You alone. The gospel does not rise and fall on you. You're just one piece to the puzzle. And we Americans, we like to think that we are the puzzle. We like to think that we are the puzzle. It all depends on us. It don't depend on us. I'm replaceable. You're replaceable. You're replaceable. You're replaceable. You're replaceable. You're replaceable. And God depends on any one of us to accomplish a destiny. God's going to do what He wants to do. He wants to use you. You can choose to submit or you can choose not to. He don't care. He'll pick someone else. We got to stop thinking we're so special. And we got to start looking at the whole picture and think the church is special. And the church isn't special because we did anything. is the church is special because Christ made it special through his death, atonement, and resurrection. He raised her back to life. She was dead. We were dead. He raised her back to life. We were the prostitute that committed adultery on the most holy God. We went and chased after other gods. And we're the prostitute that's being brought back in and being redeemed and saved. And it's not you and I independent of this. It's us collective together as the body. You is plural.